Adrian, Huddersfield Giants this week. Is it a good time or a bad time to play them?
No, there's no right time in the season is to play anyone really. I think what I would have liked to have done was not have that week off, considering the way that we played against Salford. But you don't get to choose those weeks that you play and you don't. So what I do know is that we've had an 80-minute performance there. I was really proud of as a coach, and the players were really proud of it as well. And we worked hard to get to that point. I thought it was probably our best win of the season, and we just want to maintain that. Now, the hard part is having that turnaround where we didn't play the week later. But I'm confident that we can maintain that.
So what do you do to try and keep that momentum going, even though you've no actual game?
Well, I think players deserve a small rest in there as well. So, as much as we've had a lot of injuries, there's a process around that. But I think the boys have had a couple of days off, and hopefully they can react and bounce back from coming back feeling fresh. But I think the best way to maintain those consistencies is just to hold everyone accountable. It's something that's built up over a long period of time and not just a one-off performance, and that's what gives our consistency as a team. And we're working really hard to get that. So, like I said, I'm confident that we can get that performance back to where it was quickly.
With regards to your team news then, having had the week off, have you got players coming back this week who will be fit and ready to go?
Yeah, there's only Dan Norman at the moment that's coming back from the failed HIA and the return to play protocols. So he'll be in consideration to play. As in the other players, there's not much change there for this week. Plus we've had a few nigglies as well in the last from the Salford game. So we're just working hard on making sure that everyone gets through and makes some decisions on Thursday on captain's run before we play.
So with regards to your side then, and yourself, the fact that you have now announced your 3-year extension, has that made life easier for you in the camp, and have you seen a reaction from the players?
Yeah, I certainly hope it does. There's been a lot of players obviously signing to leave at the end of this season, and that's okay. That's part of the process and part of building and part of retention or recruitment and making some tough decisions or agreeing on some decisions on players to leave or whatnot. Doesn't always work out in your favour, but I think by showing that my commitment to the club here is in place over the next 3 years, I think we can get some settling down, and from there we can also move forward with recruiting ourselves and replace the players that we may be losing. So it's going to be a fair bit of a turnaround with squad numbers at the end, but I'm pretty excited about that. I want to look at that as a positive. It's part of this process we've talked about on a long-term plan here, and I know the players have been very excited about that. They're going to be here for another couple of years, and it just gives stability to the club, and it also gives confidence to the players.
A lot of the fans are concerned that maybe Tom Amone and Ricky Lutelli might be leaving. Yeah. What's the situation on that?
Yeah, that's not the case at the moment, and if anything does happen with that moving forward, that's a policy that stays with the club in the sense of not releasing any information on players until the end of the season. So it's not who we want to be and what we are. It's on a week-to-week basis with us at the moment, and for me personally, I'm happy that my contract's out of the way now, so I can move on with coach, and I'm sure all players in that position are as well. We'll deal with what's ahead of us in the immediate future or at the end of the season, and if those two players are the ones that come into play, we'll deal with it when it happens.
Final question for me then. Yeah. Huddersfield, what do you expect from Huddersfield this weekend?
I think they'll be hurt and emotionally upset about the loss in the Challenge Cup, so they'll want to get playing rugby again as soon as they can, and they get a chance to do that at home. So they'll be looking to bounce back, and when they play their best rugby, they're a very difficult team to beat. They beat us here in round 1 when we had a really bad night at home here. So, we want to make amends on that, and also we want to just keep improving what we've done over the last 4 weeks. So I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, thanks, Adrian. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Drew.
Hi, Adrian. Hope you're well.
Drew, good. Yourself?
Very good, thank you. Very good. Good. Just on last week, first of all, how did you spend the week off? Did you give the players an extended rest, so to speak?
Yeah, they had a couple of days off, but it was over the weekend and not during the week. So We had a lot of training in between that as well, just to make sure we touched up on where we're at and the review of the Salford game the week before. And like I said, I feel like we're in a really good place. It's down to the players now to make sure that we maintain that consistency.
Good stuff, and congrats on your 3-year deal, by the way.
Thanks, mate.
I know we've talked a little bit over the last couple of months about, and you've always said you've got this 5-year plan.
Yeah.
And the 3-year deal obviously takes you into what will be the 6th season at Lee for you.
Yeah.
What is your long-term vision now? What does that look like from your perspective with your future sealed?
Yeah, I think, Drew, it's a good question. You know, I mean, arriving here in Championship was a massive task and challenge for us. And I remember turning up on day one, there was only 6 players here, so we had a job to do and to recruit players as part of that first part of the plan. And I thought we did a reasonably good job with that, and obviously got promoted back up into Super League. We won every trophy in Championship, and you know, the AB Sundex Cup, the league leaders, and then promotion with the grand final win. So I thought we had a really good year last year, and I still think we've got a good year last year with the Challenge Cup win, and I still think we've got a lot of work to do yet still for this year. I know that when all players are available and fit and we get our best 17 out there, we'll be a hard team to beat. So the difficult part this season has been just learning to play without John Asiata because of my philosophies. It's a real integral part of the cog between the wheel of attack for us, and I think we've started to work that out now over the last 3-4 weeks. So I'm excited about where that's going to get to, and then that'll probably be around the time that John comes back, so he'll have to fit in with the new style that we're playing. But moving forward, you know, I think at the end of this year there'll probably be a lot of changes again, and that's part of the process. That's part of what we want to happen, not that we're forced to happen, so everyone understands that. There will be a rotation of a lot of players, try to, you know, bring in some youth and size and X factor within the group and speed, and then moving forward, you know, we've got a big plan for us with how the club here looks in the next 5-10 years, long after I've been. So my goal is to make sure we stay on track with who we've become, the DNA of what we're known as. I think we're a real difficult team to play against. I think our fans and our numbers are growing. Derek's doing a great job with the business side of Lee Rugby League. There's no better atmosphere than a home game here, and all that played a part in me staying too. You know, I've got a great working relationship with Derek, Neil Jukes and Chris Chester. You know, we're all on the same page with where we want to head to. I think our fans played a big part in me staying, and you know, there's nothing better than coming here on a home day and watching the game and having them in the background there. That's been unbelievable. But you know, I'm excited about what's ahead. I think we've got to start and rebuild again, so everyone knows at some point. But that's exciting because we have to, we need to. We don't want to be sat in what we've done and just keep improving with who we are. So you know, that's all going to take a lot of hard work, but you know, I'm prepared in the long haul for that.
Good stuff, and you talked a little bit about recruitment retention there. I know that the club have recently announced new deals for Matty Davies, Josh Charnley, Gaz O'Brien, and Milo Hanley as well, of course. And I assume that there's quite a few to be coming over the next couple of weeks. Is that also part of your long-term vision, getting your recruitment right and your retention?
Yeah, I think it's one of the best things that we've done here, to be fair, as a club. You know, to go up in a Championship into Super League, I felt that we needed a lot more experienced players and balance it out with some skill and X factor, and I thought we got a good balance with that. And a lot of the players there were senior players that had captained other clubs and had that vision for that, and I thought that worked really well for us. I think we're going through a transitional phase now where we're going to flip it. I don't need to explain exactly what's going on, but you'll see the sort of the picture get painted as over the next 12 months probably. And then there'll be a third part probably 2 or 3 years after that. So it's all really exciting, but you know, there's also there may be some tough times through those periods where there's a lot more youth in there that need to get that experience. But you know, I'm confident that, like this year, you know, there's been a lot of ups and downs with injury, and that's not ideal for us. But we're starting to come good, and like I said, I think there's a different story with this year left in us and what's to go for this season. I'm excited about what's ahead for us. I'm excited about this Friday night. That's where it all starts.
Just finally from me, just a little bit of housekeeping on the other injury updates, if you can, please. How's Ben Nakuba getting on and Gaz O'Brien in their recoveries?
Yeah, both of those players are probably a week or two away. John Asiata's probably 3 or 4, and then I can't remember who else is there in there. But
is Nathan Wild recovered from his collarbone?
Yeah, he's probably a week away as well. So all of those players are back on field running now, and then it's just a matter of getting that load up to make sure that they've got enough in their legs. You know, we're pushing them really hard and making sure that everyone's prepared and ready to go in there as quick as possible.
And just on Keane and Brand as well, is his leg out of the brace now? Is he not too far away, or is he?
Yeah, Keane is probably 2 to 3 weeks away. So he's out of the brace, and he's only just started running today. So again, another one that's on the mend, but still probably 2 or 3 weeks. It's all come around really quickly, to be honest with you, and it's interesting because as coach, you think when it first happens, you think 8 weeks is a long time, but it gets past pretty quick. And you know, I think we're unbeaten for the last 3 games, albeit a draw with Castleford, but that's still unbeaten for the last month. So we want to maintain that moving forward. A lot of the players have played more minutes than what they probably would have had prior to these injuries, and that makes it great for those players, but also more important, gives them experience that they would not have gotten time on the field with us. So that, you know, the Owen Trouts and the Ben McNamara's and whatnot are playing next level. You know, we're giving debuts to the Louis Brogans and, you know, Lewis Baxter's and the list goes on. You know, but Dan Norman is back this week, so that'll certainly help us through that middle.
Cheers, Adrian. I'll pass you on. All the best for Friday night.
Thank you.
Hi, Adrian. It's Martin speaking.
Hey, Martin.
Good to congratulations first of all on the new deal. I'm delighted to see you staying, mate. I really am. Hope you know is there for the full 3 years and that nobody poaches you from the NRL with all these sackings that keep happening over there, mate.
Yeah.
You know, you're bound to feature in every conversation, I would have thought. But with this new deal, I mean, just looking, you're obviously expecting a big turnover at the end of this year of players, and looking on from the outside, the one guy who I would want to keep with you, if I were involved in your club, would be Tom Amone, who I think's been terrific since he joined you, and it's not. It was noticeable that you started playing a lot better when he came back. A bit earlier this season. You know, is there any chance? I mean, he's been talked about as one of the potential leavers. Yeah. But I was going to say, I mean, he'd be so difficult to replace, I think.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you, Martin. And
you don't think he would?
No, I totally agree. You know, it'd be very difficult for us to replace him. But you know, and you're right. I think as soon as he arrived back into the 17 or into the 13 starting team, we started playing better rugby. But so did the improvement with the arrival of Edwin Apape back in the team, and then Robbie Mulhern back in the team. So that's how much we've missed those players, and all of those players are either dream team players from last year or played for England like Robbie's done. So. The thing about all of this, Martin, is when Tom came to us in Championship, Tom was a 20-minute player off the bench, not playing in the NRL and playing 20 minutes for us in Championship. But part of what we do really well here, I believe, is we develop the players. And if we are to lose Tom at some stage, because I know he's passionate about going back and trying to get back in the NRL, along with a lot of the Aussie players that come to us, you know, we understand that. But what we do well here is that we develop the players, you know, and if we do lose Tom for whatever reason, because that's a possibility. If that happens, and we do lose Lockie Lamb one day, and we do lose Edwin Apape, and we do lose, you know, anyone else that's from Australia, we'll deal with it. You know, we'll get on with it. It's not ideal for us, but what excites me about situations like that is we will take the next player to come in, and we will develop them up to be like a Tom Amone. So. If any young player from the NRL that wants to come and be in this position, I'm happy to talk to any young player in Super League that wants to come here and improve, like Kai Donalds and the Tom Amones and the Robbie Mulherns. Come over here and we'll sort you out. We'll get you sorted. We'll improve you as a player. So that's the positive outlook that the way that I want to see it. But Tom Amone has been unbelievable. Unbelievable. The development of him over the last 2.5 years has been first class and a real, inspiration to everyone that watches and plays rugby league. Not only do you only see him on the field, but just his development around his home life, his social life, and his leadership within the group here has been phenomenal. And again, another one of those players that has certainly helped build this club. And we want to hold on to him. And if that doesn't happen, we'll survive. We'll pat him on the back. We'll thank him, and we'll welcome him in the next one, and we'll develop the next guy.
Thanks very much for that response. It's very interesting. And just looking at this weekend, at Friday night's game, it could hardly be more crucial for you, could it? Because you've got this run of, I think it's 4 away games,
5, I think,
in a row now.
Yeah.
Whatever, and really, you're still looking to make up ground on the leading 6 clubs.
Yeah.
I hate to describe it as a must-win game, but it's pretty near to one.
Yeah, pretty much. I think sometimes during the season you need some honest truths and some really tough, direct conversations, and that's one of the ones that we've had over the last couple of weeks. We're not really in a position now to play well and lose. So I think that's why you've seen a team with a different desperation about us, but that's inspirational. What we're doing now under pressure has been impressive as a group of players, and certainly reminding me that how good they are. So I feel confident that we're going to go to Huddersfield and play well, and we need to win. It's as simple as that. It is that type of game for us, and there's nowhere to hide with that. So we'll be emotionally connected to that, and I think you should see that with our performance.
Can I just ask one final thing about you? You are still the assistant coach of Australia. Is that going to continue for throughout the next 3-year term of your league contract?
I hope so. I've been there since 2016 now, and funny enough, I had a conversation with Mel last week about it. I think he's been extended for another 3 years, which takes him into the next World Cup. And no Australian coach has ever won 3 World Cups in a row. I'm going to be a part of that. He wants me to be a part of that, and that excites me. And I want to be a part of that. Talk to the club about that. I think it's really important for us. It gives us some presence internationally as well, and also keeps one foot in the door with the players that are in the NRL. So that's a real honour for me to do that. Mal's a mentor of mine, and a lot of my coaching philosophies and signs are all based on what he does, and he's an inspiration to me. So pretty excited about that as well.
Is it actually quite useful for you being based in England? Because obviously we'd be hoping to face you in the next World Cup final, touch wood. And obviously you've got the inside knowledge, presumably, of most of the England squad, given that you're based over here and coaching against them quite a lot of the time.
Yeah, I think it helps. Without a doubt it helps, especially knowing their individual strengths and weaknesses. But also it helps our club, Lee, that I have a foot in the door there where I'm talking to the NRL players and their latest, techniques, tactics, players, youth, all of that too certainly helps. So it's a good place to be.
Thanks, Adrian. Good luck on Friday,
Thanks,
mate.
man.